11th Annual Chinese Folk Festival, presented by the Ohio State University Alumni Association Chinese Culture Club. I'm Darryl Mendelson. I'm the current president of the club. The Chinese Culture Club was founded in 1981 by Dr. Fred Wu. The main purpose of the club is to promote Chinese culture and provide a forum to exchange information on traditional folk knowledge that can be very useful for us in our daily lives. Some of the many aspects of Chinese culture that we are interested in and are represented here today are Tai Chi Chuan and Chinese Kung Fu, including Bakwa, Xingyi, Wing Chun, many animal forms, and other Chinese martial arts, including weaponry and two-man forms. Qigong and meditation, Chinese brush painting and calligraphy, Chinese cooking, herbal medicine, and I Ching astrology. We're also interested in folk games such as Wei Chi, which is called Go by the Japanese, and Mahjong. Though the main focus of the club is Chinese culture, we welcome the participation of other cultures. Last year we experienced some aspects of Cambodian culture, and this year we learned something about the culture of Thailand, including a dance performance. You can become a member of the club for only a $5 yearly fee. You do not need to be a student or a graduate of OSU to join the club. Though you don't need to be a member to attend events, as a member you usually save $2 or more on each event. This past year we had 5 dim sum lectures, including I Ching coin predictions, color meditation, Chinese brush painting, the culture of Thailand, and 3 Chinese paths for harmony. In addition, we have our annual New Year's dinner and folk festivals. We are currently making plans to have a picnic in a nice park such as High Banks Metro Park in July and an August Moon Festival. In addition, we intend to continue to have dim sum lecture series every 6 weeks. So please join our club and participate in the exchange of cultural information and friendship, and please enjoy the 11th Annual Chinese Folk Festival. Thank you. The first event coming up will have members of Monkey's Retreat and other students doing Lee's modified Yang-style Tai Chi.
That was Bob, Gene, Darryl, Steve, and Rosie. We're going to take about 5 minutes to set up, then we'll have the whole martial arts demonstration. Next, Tyrone will be doing Drunken God style. Drunken styles emulate someone who's had a few too many to drink. Gives the advantage by the other person think he's out of balance when he's actually well in balance. Next, Kevin will do the plum blossom praying mantis style. Kevin. Okay. Jump ahead. Yeah, Jeremiah will do Tom Tui. Okay. Now Kevin the plum blossom praying mantis style.
I felt a lot of good energy. We had a lot of pink energy.
Next, guys, is Garoza Golden Diamond Tiger.
Yes, it does. Very well. That's why I went out.
Next, Jeff Radcliffe, gold, second tiger form. Next, Tyrone will be doing the monkey.
Next one we're going to see is Rosie performing the Sinki 5 Elements. This is an internal style, and the 5 elements are 5 elements that are basic to the Chinese philosophy. These 5 elements include wood, metal, fire, water, and earth. All these 5 elements explain rudimentary parts of the world around us. And they all work in conjunction with each other in a constructive cycle and a destructive cycle. The next form you're going to see is Tracy performing a crane form. The crane is noted for a lot of kicking, very graceful motion, a lot of evading techniques. If you watch his hands, they look like the crane's wings. His legs are like the crane's long legs.
That's what I've been learning.
As you can see, it's a long-range fighting form. Next, we're going to show you Kevin doing the Xing Yi 5 elements staff form. Many of the martial arts from China have, as well as open hand techniques, they have weapon forms. And this one is from the internal style of Xing Yi.
That was true. It just confirmed my own thoughts again. Well, I thought I'd been patient after 3 years.
The Xing Yi style works on the 5 elements initially. And there are very basic techniques, building blocks, that are used. They're a little more simple than some of the other techniques in form, but because it's working on the internal energy as well, that's beneficial so that the player can Next, Don Gubbins is going to perform the Big Bird Qigong.
There was wonderful jobs. But I've been applying.
Qigong is a very integral part of all the Chinese martial arts. It emphasizes building this energy, the internal energy that you use in the martial arts, and gets the energy to flow. This particular Qigong is done very slowly, as most of them are. It's a very soft breathing style of Qigong. There are some hard breathing styles as well. The motions that he's going through help to massage the internal organs and the meridians on which the qi flows.
That's what she's telling me. I wrote all those months down on a piece of paper. But you told me not to be in a hurry, and you told me to take things slowly.
Next, I'm going to perform the Hungar Tiger Crane form, the very first of the series that Dr. Wu teaches.
You once told me I'd make a good CIA agent, which I thought was amazing. Because I thought it's CIA.
Gordon Mann's going to do a little bit of Beijing style Bakwa. Bakwa is another internal style form, along with Singing and Tai Chi. Bakwa deals mostly with circles, walking circles and dealing with circular way of dodging the other person's attack.
Yes. Do it.
Next, we're going to demonstrate the Xingyi two-man form. Two-man sets are very important in the Chinese Kung Fu systems because they teach you timing and get you used to the idea of being next to someone. This is very important in the fighting elements of the martial arts. This particular form shows the 5 elements from Xingyi, and they follow the constructive cycle for the person that is throwing the technique. The technique that is being used to block that technique is the destructive element that opposes it. This particular form, while not very long, can be done continuously as each side gets to do all 5 techniques. It's a very highly integrated form. Next, Tyrone is going to demonstrate another art style, the continuous and returning fist. This is another concept with the martial art aspects. The idea that one attack is not sufficient necessarily, and you have a continuous fist. But as with all the internal arts, there's some external component. To the external part, there's an internal component, and you see him doing the breathing at the very beginning of the form. This way, he summons his chi up to perform the form and to extend the chi in the strikes and attacks. As you can see, there's quite a bit of footwork. The next form you're going to see is a Shaolin form that Tracy's going to perform, the water form. I'm sorry, that's a soft form. This is a water form, and once again, we saw the Xingyi showing the different elements. This is a single element out of those 5 elements. It's a very fluid form, and you'll notice a lot of up-down motion as in a wave. In that respect, it's very much like the water. Next, you're going to see a Northern Shaolin long fist broadsword form, performed by Jeff Radcliffe. Okay, next the form you're going to see is Guy Scarosa performing the first in the series of Wing Chun forms. This particular form is, or this particular style, is the style that Bruce Lee learned. It's a very compact form. It was originally designed for Chinese women and smaller people to give them an edge, because it doesn't rely so much on the strength as it does the technique, the economy of motion, the swiftness, and the sticking hands. This now you're going to see the second form of the Wing Chun style, third form of the Wing Chun style, performed by Vinny. And this is a more advanced form. It includes kicking as well as punching. This form is called the Bill G, or thrusting finger. Next, we're going to slow things down again with some Tai Chi. We're first going to start with the young style Tai
My
Chi.
mind to do that. That's why I did this today. Because, it's what I was told to do.
There are a lot of different forms of Tai Chi. The one that we did earlier is called the Lee's Modified.
Yeah. A lot of emotion. A lot of emotion. out and commune with nature.
The form you're watching
I
is
love nature.
the Lee's
Love
modified
nature.
one. And as in all Tai Chi forms, you see a lot of the slower moving techniques. It's a very well-rounded form. Okay? The idea is to build the Qi, the internal energy. Tai Chi is probably one of the slower of the internal arts, and it has many aspects of some of the Shaolin arts. You see a lot of different animal forms in there, like the crane and the tiger. And you also see some of the elemental forms in there. Tai Chi is based on 13 principles. And each form has to have all 13 of these principles contained in it to truly be Tai Chi.
Goes to Med Center Hospital. I volunteer. Not much
The next form we're going to demonstrate is the form from the Young style.
You'll have it again some other time.
Don and Darryl are going to do the swinging hands. Now, they'll be doing different sections of it, so then you'll see they'll be doing
I
different
knew when I
parts.
sit down, but I just wanted to hear your friend. I have a good friend, a psychic friend. I go to her on Saturday. She and I talk a lot. We've helped each other.
Now, the swinging hand, this is still from the Lee's modified, but it's added the Dr. Wu's family's swinging hand. This takes it, puts it more into a fluent motion, a continuous motion.
I think so too. There's a whole group of people that really attend your sessions too. Always good. I appreciate it. Thank you. Always take one of your cards. I understand what the message is. It's funny how I got into this business because I've always been one patient, always leaning forward. I thought I was going forward. I'm not so sure about believing it. I think it finally just got to a point where I wanted to go punch somebody, but I didn't. Because I'm doing
Next, we're going to show you a demonstration of the use of Tai Chi in the push hands exercise. Both Darryl and Rosie are going to do the push hands. This is a two-man technique that gives you a sensitivity training and teaches you how to yield as well as attack. On the very first level, they do a single hand push hand that just goes around in a circle. You do it on both sides. You must maintain a balance in your exercise and your body. The next form includes a variation, which includes a downward motion and an upward motion, rather than just the simple circling. This teaches other sections of the 13 treaties on Tai Chi. Now you have ward off.
They told me to look at a movie.
Now you see a two-handed push hand. This is, as you watch them, they're going through different levels of the push hands. It takes quite a while to get to this level, and it requires a lot of concentration to learn to do this correctly and learn the sensitivity, because you can't be either too hard or too soft. By learning the sensitivity, you can predict where your opponent is going to be. next form we're going to show you is the first Lu of the Chen style. This is going to be performed by Jeff and Kevin, and they're going to do different sections of it because this is a long form, as many of the Tai Chi forms are, and they want you to be able to see all the aspects. Now the Chen style is a slightly older style of Tai Chi, thought to be the original style of Tai Chi, and it has a lot more of the Yang component than like the Yang style. So you'll see hard-hitting and soft techniques in this particular form. But even though it's harder than the Yang style, it still holds with all the different theories of Tai Chi. They're all incorporated. You'll see some of the motions look very similar to the Yang style, while others are not quite as obvious. But most of the techniques are the same, but done slightly differently. Another thing you'll notice is there seems to be a lot of shaking or twisting motions in this style. This is to build the cocoon energy. It's a twisting energy that helps with the fighting. It's like a whip, where you bring a whip out and it snaps very hard. Even though it's soft and supple, it can still do a lot of damage.
Next, Matt's going to be doing the Pak Tui, it's a harder form, the canon form of the Chen style.
This Chen style, you see, produces hard and soft. It's not just hard, it's not soft. It's hard and soft together from the Chen form. It uses the intrinsic energy going around with this energy. This is called a cotton fist. So you can see the stomping and the jumping helps different energies travel to different parts of the body. Also helps the energy to transform into different fighting parts of the body. This develops the internal as well as external parts of the body. This is one of the first Chen forms that was developed. This is the fifth form from the Chen style. You can see earlier you saw hard form, Chen style of number 1, this is the fifth. These techniques right here is drawing in energy and throwing the energy out. And have many self-defense techniques. Okay, this is a long form, so we're going to cut this short. Thank you. Now you're going to see one of the softer forms, two-man Tai Chi, forms from the Young system. Rosie and Jeff will be doing this form. As you can see here, along with energy, they're throwing the techniques, and here is developing the fighting techniques and movement of the form. It's learning the stepping, how to sidestep, how to get out the way, to then in turn come back and attack. It yields, and then it attacks. If it doesn't yield, you will be thrown or damaged in some form or way. You can see all parts of the body is using the head, the elbows, the shoulders. And the feet. Okay, thank you.
Next one's going to do another Bakwa form. This one's from the Guanghua Mountain Bakwa. First one's snake. Dragon. When this tiger looks back and strikes.
The next form you're going to see is another weapon form, although at first appearance it doesn't look like a weapon. Tyrone is going to perform the fan dance, which is a weapons form. Now, the Chinese could not carry weapons everywhere they always went, necessarily, but they could carry a fan. And he's going to demonstrate some of the techniques that come from the fan form. As you can see, it can be used to block and strike as a club when it's closed. It can be used to jab like a knife. It can be used to cut across the eyes when it opens. And also, when it snaps open, it blinds the opponent and surprises them. It can also be used to hold. you're going to see another open hand form. Jeff is going to perform a internal style of the eagle claw system. The eagle claw combines a lot of grappling techniques, hitting pressure points, and chi na techniques, bone locking, and throws and holds. The Japanese style of jiu-jitsu has some similar techniques, so they can give you some basis to think of when you're watching him do his form. Once again, it's an internal art, which is important when you're using techniques that attack acupuncture points.
Next, Matt's going to do a wushu long step. Next up, a couple more. Tyrone's going to do another sword form. He's going to do a sword form, the drunken broadsword form. It's obvious Tyrone likes to drink a lot. Jeff's going to do a singy 5 consecutive fist form.
In the singing form, you see the 5 different elements and the animals. You can see here, some of it's hard, some of it's soft. It's combining the elements with animals.
Grace is going to do one more form called Wen Shen Dao.
Awakening spirit.
Awakening Spirit.
As you can see, the form awakening spirit is awakening the energy. This is transforming some of the energy that is out in the ether back into the human body. It's developing timing, speed, flexibility, and grace. Here, the intrinsic energy is developing through all parts of the body, healing the internal parts of the body that normally you wouldn't heal with just normal exercise. Each form, each posture is healing a different element of the internal organs. This form right here was developed for more of the younger people. As you can see some of the flips. Here we would not advise an older gentleman or an older lady to do what you see here. Thank you.
Next, you're going to see another two-man form. These are from the 64 fighting techniques of the Guanghua Mountain. Okay, they're going to show you first some self-defense techniques because you see a lot of forms and you may not understand how all these different motions would work in a martial application. The eagle claw technique, he hits a pressure point in the shoulder as he catches it, which forces the man down, and of course he follows through. This is another eagle claw technique using one of the holds along with the pressure points. As he grabs, he gets out of the way, he comes around, and he holds, pushing the pressure point. This leaves the opponent in a vulnerable location. This is a bakwa technique. Bakwa's use of circles for evading puts Tyrone out of the way, then he comes back in very quickly, inside. This technique is common to both the eagle claw and the panther style, and it's a hold once again, as well as a throw. This technique is one of the techniques Tyrone is famous for, a monkey technique, also seen in the elephant style, where he grabs the opponent, kicks him again, pulls him down, hits a pressure point, strikes him on the way down. from the praying mantis. When Tyrone kicks, he catches with the praying mantis hook and then goes for a vulnerable point in the neck. Another monkey technique, Tyrone climbs up the back of his opponent, grabs his head, and breaks his neck. Now you're going to see the Guangwa Mountain Bakwas two-man. Okay, this is the first of the 64 two-man techniques from the Guangwa system. This system is one of the most complete forms of Bakwa that you'll see because it has 64 fighting techniques involved in it. And each of those techniques has sub-techniques from the base. All of Bakwa forms are based on the I Ching, the 8 hexagrams, or trigrams, which go into the hexagrams and create the 64 motions. The next form is the last form we're going to show this afternoon, sorry. It's the snake form. This is one of the Shaolin styles, and it's one of the Shaolin animals. There are 5 animals in the Shaolin system. The snake emphasizes flexibility, suppleness, speed. It requires a great deal of flexibility to perform this form, and as you can see, of our show here is going to be some free sparring between Tyrone and Jeff. This is always one of the highlights of the show, and we hope you enjoy watching.
Thank you. Thank all the demonstrators. I would also like to thank Dr. Roof for sharing his knowledge and talents with us. We're going to take another little break, and then we're going to start the Young Qigong lecture in the lecture room right outside this door. So give us a couple minutes to set up, and then start coming in.